Abarigani,
Ujima.
welcome to the third night of Kwanzaa. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. As all the other days happen, we begin by lighting the Kwanzaa candles, traditionally called the Nguza Saba or Mishuma Saba. We light the first candle in the middle, which is the black candle, which represents the people. Black for the people. The second principle of Kwanzaa is kujichagulia, self-determination. And you alternate between the red candle, the green candle when you're lighting. And the third night of Kwanzaa, the third principle is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. And as always, we begin our festivities with pouring libation. And at this time, I'm going to elicit the use of the Black Panther Party for you to call the names of those fallen comrades who we want to lift up in the ancestral plane. Ashe, 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 Ashe. And all those known and unknown comrades that have fallen, we lift them up, we elevate them, we say their names. Ashe.
Kwanzaa, like all other celebrations, has its symbols. The first symbol of Kwanzaa is the mkeka, which is the straw mat, which represents the foundation for which all else rests. Next, we have the kinara, which represents our parent stock or our ancestors. It's the candle holder that holds the Mashuba Saba, which are the 7 candles that represent the 7 principles. Next, we have the Kikombe Cha Umoja, which is the unity cup, which is used to pour libations to our ancestors. We have the Muhendi or the Babunzi, which are the ears of corn, which represent the children. For each child in the household, there should be 1 ear of corn. If there is no children in the house, you still represent with 1 ear of corn, because that ear of corn represents the potential for regeneration. We have the mazao, which are the crops, the fruits and vegetables, which are the fruits of our labor, our harvest. And Kwanzaa is a harvest festival. Then we have the zawadi. The zawadi are the gifts, which can be creative items that are made, books, or other services that we extend to each other. And Kwanzaa zawadi is not just gifts given just because. It is primarily given to children who have kept commitments and who have done well in school and in their community. So these are the principles of Kwanzaa, and we celebrate Kwanzaa in our homes by talking with each other and talking about each principle of each day.
And on the third night of Kwanzaa, we have the New Orleans chapter of the Black Panther Party presenting a panel presentation. And we'd like to begin with asking some questions. In keeping with our COVID-19 restrictions, we are practicing social distancing, and we are only allowing for the participants to be present. So, what is the history of the New Orleans chapter of the Black Panther Party?
Well, the New Orleans chapter basically began in February of 1970 with Steve Green and Brother Ronald Ellsworth. They came together and basically formed the National Committee to Combat Fascism. And from there, the party mushroomed. We didn't become a chapter of the Black Panther Party until the end of 71, the beginning of 72. We finally became a chapter, and we was a chapter for just about 2.5 years.
So, what is different about the Black Panther Party in 2020 versus the Black Panther Party that existed during the original Black Panther Party with Huey?
I don't think there are any real differences. We was all young. You know, now you're talking to me about something, and this is a blessed time. As a spiritual person, now I can see the blessing that we are having this celebration of Kwanzaa, of the third day, on our 50th anniversary. You know, so it was 50 years ago. So when it's hard for you to look through the lens of something that had happened that far ago and compare it to what these youngsters is going through now. But what I do see is they are our children, you know, and we can't abandon them. Yeah, they may make mistakes. We made mistakes, you know. So again, they are our children. I'm honored that they took upon the name Black Panther because they have kept, whatever anybody say, they have kept that spirit alive.
I'm glad you brought that up. What do you see as the vision? As we were saying earlier, the history of Black people in America has been one of struggle. Yes, we have made accomplishments, but we have continued to struggle in order to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive. What do you see the vision in 2021 for Black people here in New Orleans and here in America in order to go on into the future? Is anyone who wants to respond?
All power to the people. In regards to the struggle, we have made some advancements and achievements. However, this is the purpose of us still unifying and advocating for the unity and the rights of us as a people in this country. As you've mentioned out that there's still lots of work to be done. We as a people cannot, or we can't afford to rest on our laurels, on the achievements that we've made, because there's so much work to be done still today. And as Brother Malik pointed out, you know, we have to look at our youth today and be able to pass on the torch or the baton to them in order for the struggle to continue. And it is imperative that we reach back to the youth of this generation and give them the necessary tools that it is required for to continue the struggle. myself and these brothers, we refuse to, and these sisters, I'm sorry, refuse to let anything.
That leads to my next question. What is the role of the woman in this vision? But you corrected yourself, but go ahead on and respond.
Well, I would think I would let one of those sisters answer that question on far as what their roles is, because me coming from my perspective, I'm not a woman. So.
Thank God.
The role of the women in the Black Panther Party was to take care of each other. The role of a woman, period, is to take care of the village. And so it has been said that the Black Panther Party was very male chauvinistic. Me personally, I disagree. I've never seen it in the New Orleans chapter. I never saw any chauvinism. But what people need to understand is that, we had people from all walks of life that joined the party. And so you had people that came in with different agendas. And so maybe you did have one or two brothers that were chauvinistic, but we broke them down. Because as you see, we move as a unit. This is how we move. And so it's not about male or female. It's about us. It's about us as a family. It's about us as a movement. Because we are a movement. The most important thing is that the younger generation needs to know and understand the history about who we were and what we did and how we did it. That's a big piece that's missing in terms of the Black Panther Party.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yes, I like to speak in terms of a nation in a nation. Like there are ideology differences, but I am president of the Republic of New Africa. And we recognize that Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and South Carolina is our national territory. This was established back in 1968. When we speak about our future, I look at our future as just being one people. Sooner or later, we're going to have to realize that we're going to have to start taking care of ourselves, even with this pandemic that is taking place. We see a lot of money being pushed in order to deal with this pandemic. But the question is, who really are the victims of this pandemic? Because I have never saw where the white man ever push money into dealing with a vaccine, especially when it was dealing with people of color. Again, I would like to say that as a collective, the Black Panther Party first have gave us an education that stems from the 10-point program. And every point in that said we should take care of ourselves. So I feel that self-preservation should be the topic of 2021. We're concerned about our children, our grandchildren, and the children who come after them. What kind of world would they be living in? Do they have to go through the same thing that our parents have went through? And yes, one can say we're doing pretty well considering 50 years ago. But that was 50 years ago. We have the new Black Panther Party. And the new Black Panther Party is our children. And here in New Orleans, we like to commemorate them from seeking us to show them the way. And there I leave it as we all, really have contributed a lot in the last 50 years here in New Orleans as a member of the Black Panther Party.
I think it's really awesome, first of all, to have an organization that has a foundational structure of black strong men, number one. Historically, they always try to divide us up, women against men, but in African concepts, we don't deal with that. We recognize that a woman is strong within her own right. It doesn't mean she can take on what a man does, and men likewise represent and understand the strength of the women. So whoever responded and said about we're together, the whole unit structure was definitely on point. Did you want to say something?
Yes. I'd like to say that we as a member of the Black Panther Party, we've always been about helping people in the community, black people in particular, all people in general. And with that, we're still doing some of the same thing. We're not as active as we used to be, but on this month, on the 28th, we'll be having a free breakfast program at Oak Harmony for the youth of the community. That's something that we started out doing in New Orleans. It's something that we continue to do. The schools started doing the breakfast program, but that began with the Black Panther Party, and we're still carrying that on, and we're inviting everyone you're welcome to come out to the free breakfast program and volunteer as well as eat. And it will be, we'll practice social distancing. So what we did then, we're doing now in regards to the brothers and the sisters, we do the same job. They'll cook, we'll cook. They'll clean, we'll clean. There's no division there. There's no man and there's no female role. We're doing our part to help our community.
Tell them it's the Harmony.
It's the Harmony Oaks. I'm sorry, it's the Harmony Oaks off of Community Center on Washington Avenue. That's at 10 a.m. October the 28th. I'm sorry, December. I'm all messed up.
That's all right.
I'm all messed up, but show up. We'll have some flyers out and just listen for the announcements on the TV. Thank you.
So in closing, I'd like to open the floor for each person they want to add a comment as to what advice would you give to the black community on how to navigate this pandemic. We know that our people are getting all kinds of conflicting information, to mask or not the mask, to take the vaccine, not take the vaccine, to social distance, not social distance. What is your advice? And I'd like if each person could have something to say about that, but if not, we'll just pass the mic. Who'd like to begin? Okay, ma'am.
I'd just like to say that wisdom is the principal thing. You have to use your own judgment. If the mask is going to help, then use the mask. It's not harming you. It's not hurting you in any kind of way. I mean, you put on all kind of masks when it's carnival time. So this is for your health and your safety. So I'd advise you to wear the mask. It won't hurt or take from you.
I'm going to piggyback off of what Sister Betty said. Wear your mask. We've been told by that, I'm going to be real, we've been told by that crazy-ass president that's not out of office yet that we have underlying conditions, as if the other folk don't have underlying conditions. People have underlying conditions, regardless to your skin tone. And so we need to wear the mask. We need to protect ourselves and protect each other as much as we can.
Hi, I would like to say you need to mask up, but you also need to constantly wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer, Lysol. Protect your children. Use cleanliness tips that us in the African American and the black community, we always do. We've already been putting a cap full of bleach in the water when we wash dishes or sometime bathing if children play football or athletes. Just be persistent on doing so and use your wisdom and do what's best for your household, because it's killing people and we can't afford to lose another life.
And I would like to add to that, we want to continue to physically distance. We don't want to socially distance. We want to keep our minds and our ability to think open. We also want to continue to wash our hands, as she said, because there's 24 hours in a day, so there's nothing wrong with washing your hands 12 times.
Health is wealth. We should concentrate on eating healthy, taking care of yourselves. You have a proper diet, because there's nothing on this planet that God has given us that doesn't give us the ability to heal ourselves. And of course, social distancing and building on what Mama Kishona said, you know, we were the original people on this planet. We had the ability to heal. Everything that is considered medicine in this day and time came from us. The bubonic plague. Those Europeans was dying like crazy, and all they had to do was wash their asses. So, so the reality of it is, you know, health, wealth, and knowledge of self. So, you know, take care of yourselves.
Well, I'm seeing it a little further. It is not, I think what we need to do is get a relationship with the nurses here down here in New Orleans. Because the UNIA was able to organize the black nurses during the pandemic, what that was, the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu. I mean, we got to get serious with this. You know what I'm saying? And who we gonna count on? You know, I mean, these sisters are skilled in taking care of people. If you go to any hospital, you'll find out that 90% of the women who are taking care of patients is our women. You know, so we should call upon the black nurses here in New Orleans and elsewhere and team up to the possibility of a widespread pandemic. You know, because right now, the only thing they're doing now, you go to the hospital, that's not a guarantee you're gonna leave there. Then they cutting you away from your family to see if you're doing all right or not. So we got to be concerned about, like it was explained to me, I didn't even know they had hooked up tents for the overflowing of, you know, 19 patients. And they're away from society and they got military around it. So they can't come and they can't leave. So I think that should be taken under consideration, you know, that we should start organizing a black nurses, you know, coalition.
Just to go on with General Rico was saying, 100 years ago, the Honorable Marcus Garvey and the Honorable Henrietta Davis met and formed the Black Nursing Corps. That was 100 years ago. It was during the Spanish flu. So and that's what saved us as a people from that flu. They say 600,000 people died in that epidemic in the United States. But no one knows if we was even counted among that 600,000. But we know that we survived by the tactics that was created and used to save our community. And those tactics was wearing a mask, washing your hands, and sanitizing your surroundings. So again, these are the things that we hope to do. One of the things that we have met with the members of the new Black Panther Party about is starting a sanitation program where we won't be able to do everybody, but to go out to seniors. And if they feel comfortable with us coming in and spraying their house and making sure that everything is sanitized, then we're going to do it. Because this have had the greatest impact upon us.
My name is Mama Kashana Jones-Lee, and I'm the producer, the manager. And they can contact me at KashanaRJones@yahoo.com, KESHUNARJONES@yahoo.com. They can also call me at 985-803-2151. I or Brother Trent, we press information, and I'll give you any information that you might need.
So it's an honor to be here with the members of the Black Panther Party here. They have been celebrating the 50th anniversary of the chapter here in New Orleans. Now for Kwanzaa, we close out by doing our 7 harambes, which we lift up to the sky. Harambe means pulling together. So we're all going to pull together as one which the Black Panthers serve as a great example to the black community of pulling together. So we're going to put our hands up. When we pull down, we're going to say Harambe. So 7 times.
Harambe, 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 Harambe.
Aluta continue. God bless the Black Panther Party. Long live the Black Panther Party.
All power to the people.
So many MCs focusing on black people extermination. We keep it balanced with that knowledge of self-determination. It's hot, we be blowing the